David steps in the ring, I'm very concerned for the opponents, you know, the sparring partners, but at the end of the day, we have to do it, you know? You know, these guys are taking a lot of punishment, but we gotta be at our best, November 22nd. This is a fight.
What's up, guys? I just want to wish everybody happy holidays. We're right here back in the gym. We got our next upcoming fight against Zurdo Ramirez, Cinco de Mayo weekend, and you know, I want to give you guys a little preview of what's gonna happen. Well, good. I'm very excited going up to capture two more titles, so I'm very excited, man. Cruiserweight will come. So May 2nd, tune in, baby.
Recuerden, amigos, no se les olvide, 5 de mayo, el monstruo mexicano regresa a Las Vegas, Nevada. Zurdo Ramirez, 2 títulos. No se lo pierdan.
David Benavidez is locked in and fully prepared as he heads into a massive showdown on May 2nd during Cinco de Mayo weekend, where he will face Gilberto Ramírez in what promises to be a defining moment in his career. This is far more than just another fight, it's an opportunity for Benavidez to make history. With a victory, he could position himself as a 3-division world champion, elevating his already impressive legacy to an entirely new level. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the spotlight will be firmly on him as he looks to deliver on one of boxing's biggest stages.
Not a sparring. You want to spar David? That's what you're gonna do. Either you get better or you're just gonna get hurt.
I got the feel in my veins. Trust me, I'm making a name. We are not one and the same. I am on top of the game. I got the line on my brakes, and that's what the drive is insane. Heart of a champ, adrenaline rushes is numbing the pain. I just been bringing the heat. I just been bringing the.
Right now we're at the boxer gym, the main gym. We got some sparring in. It's a good opportunity to show the fans some good boxing. You know, at the end of the day, you know, they get excited to see me. I give them some rounds and I leave them wanting for more. So, you know, people are definitely gonna tune into the fight. So I'm able to perform in front of the fans before the fight. So we had a great day, did some good sparring, and yeah, man, keep working.
Working in our camp, everything's going well, super excited, motivated, and everything's going super good. We're almost like about 2 months away from the fight, and no cuts, no injuries, everything's going as planned. I think we're ahead of the plan, and super excited, super happy with everything's going on.
Even though David Benavidez enters the fight as the clear favorite, he is leaving absolutely nothing to chance. His dedication in training camp reflects a fighter who understands the magnitude of the moment. Known as the Mexican Monster, Benavidez continues to showcase the qualities that make him one of the most feared fighters in boxing today. His relentless pressure, blistering hand speed, and crushing power are all on full display as he sharpens his skills in preparation for battle. However, standing across from him is Gilberto Ramírez, a fighter with his own ambitions and something to prove. Ramirez will step into the ring at the iconic T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, fully determined to rise to the occasion in front of a massive crowd. Not only is he looking to pull off a major upset, but he is also aiming to successfully defend his WBA and WBO cruiserweight titles. For Ramirez, this is a chance to silence doubters and establish himself as the dominant force in the division.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.
I think he will do great because he's a big guy, he's strong. It's interesting to see him in 175. I mean, I want to see him with the best, and I think he can be a world champion. He's my friend, but in the ring, we want to fight with the best, right? And he's one of the best, and I want to fight with the best too. It will be exciting in the ring because he's two Mexicans in the ring. I mean, it's exciting, and I have a lot of respect for him, for his family, the dad, and I know them, all of them will be training for so many years, but I mean, we agreed to fight each other, but eventually I think will happen.
Come on, Zurdo, let's go! Time.
It would be a serious mistake to underestimate Gilberto Ramírez. While he may not possess the same explosive speed or knockout power as Benavidez, he compensates with his size, composure, and high-level technical ability. His ring IQ and disciplined approach could present real challenges, forcing Benavidez to think carefully and adapt throughout the fight. That said, David Benavidez is no stranger to this type of opponent. Over the years, he has faced fighters with similar styles and has consistently found ways to break them down. His experience, combined with his aggressive approach, gives him confidence heading into this matchup. Adding another layer to the story is their shared history. Benavidez and Ramirez sparred each other years ago when Benavidez was still developing. During the recent press conference, Benavidez reflected on those sessions, offering insight into what he learned and why this fight felt inevitable from the beginning.
More than 10 years ago, you were a teenager, you would go to the Rock Gym, you were training at Hill Street in Long Beach, every now and then you'd go to the gym in Carson, and Zurdo was training there with his former team. He'd walk in, and I remember Randy Robles telling me, Beto, eventually one day those two are gonna get at it. I'm like, but man, they're not the same size. He goes, oh, they will be one day. I can't believe we're here at the cruiserweight division, but you hear them both talk about it. We've all seen the pictures of them sparring, and like sparring is sparring. But David, you knew eventually that one day this was going to happen. Why did you know it was gonna happen?
Because he's a top fighter. He's a great fighter as well. You know, I just seen into the future. I was helping him get ready for Arthur Abraham, and we had some great sparring sessions. He was champion for a while. Then he went up to 175. Then he went up to cruiserweight. So I knew Zurdo was going to be one of those fighters that's going to be there for a long, long time.
Both fighters have emphasized the cultural and historical importance of this matchup, particularly with it taking place on Cinco de Mayo weekend, a time traditionally associated with legendary Mexican fighters stepping into the spotlight. David Benavidez spoke about the legacy of icons like Julio Cesar Chavez and Oscar de la Hoya, highlighting how they never took easy fights and always embraced the toughest challenges. For Benavidez, this fight represents a chance to follow in their footsteps and potentially become the new face of boxing. Meanwhile, Gilberto Ramírez echoed similar sentiments, acknowledging Benavidez's abilities while making it clear that his goal is to prove himself by defeating the very best. Both fighters also pointed out that competing at cruiserweight allows them to perform at their natural size without the strain of extreme weight cutting. This means fans can expect a high-intensity, action-packed fight where both men are operating at peak physical condition, something that perfectly aligns with the tradition of unforgettable Mexican boxing battles.
Had one loss against Bivol. So I knew eventually we're going to do this. I didn't think we were going to do it in cruiserweight, but shit, it's even better for me. I'm very excited. I think a fight at cruiserweight between me and Zurdo Ramirez is going to be, we're going to be able to showcase both of our talents. We're going to be able to show it, like we're not going to be wagering and nothing like that. So it's going to be an even better fight. So I'm very excited.
Why move up to cruiserweight?
Because there was nothing else for me at 175 right now. You know, I mean, I could have sat down and waited on the sidelines and wait for Bivol to have his tune-up and then another fight. But like I said, I'm not interested in that. I've been professional 13 years. I've been wanting to get the biggest title, the biggest fights possible. You know, I've been denied a couple times. This was the other biggest fight on the map. Zurdo accepted it like that. So big shout out to him. And you know, I'm just, you know, like I said, I want to make my own lane. I want to achieve greatness, and this is the only way to do it.
Sort of all those years of sparring, and you saw him when he was a teenager growing up. You might have said, okay, one day maybe, but did you think that this fight would happen?
I knew that it will happen eventually, and right now is the dream come true because all the sparring, all the session that we did, and we knew each other. We knew that one day we will fight, and this is the right moment, like he said, because 200 will not be like a cutting weight or nothing. It be like natural, like those days in sparring.
One thing about it, as Oscar's talked about, Samson's talked about, the Cinco de Mayo weekend is special. I know, David, for you, you want to have that legacy, but there's something special about fighting that weekend. How important is it for you to put on that show?
It's very important for me because, you know, for the whole history of the Cinco de Mayo fights, it's been tremendous fighters like Oscar, Julio Cesar Chavez, putting on great fights. Not only just great fights, there were wars because there were paired up fights. You know, they didn't take no easy fights. So I think this is symbolically, this is what it symbolizes. May 5th symbolizes two warriors, and now it's even more special because it's two Mexican warriors going at it for a title. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm at the cusp of taking the face of boxing, and Zurdo Ramirez, he's if he beats me, you know what I mean, his stock goes up. So there's greatness on the other side of that tunnel for both of us. So we're going to come extremely prepared.
Zurdo, for you, fighting that week, I mean, you fought all over the world. You've had some big fights, but this one is special because it's fighting David Benavidez, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the monster. Before I call him the different, el asesino, because I saw him when he sparred different guys. He beat him all the time, and I was like, okay, it be a good fight eventually one day. And right now, at the May 5th, La Batalla de Puebla, two warriors, we're making history.
During the press conference, Benavidez's promoter Samson Lukovic shared the story of how their partnership began. He recalled first hearing about Benavidez after the young fighter dominated sparring sessions in the Virgin Islands. Even without seeing him fight live at the time, Lukovic trusted his instincts and decided to sign him, a decision that would eventually lead to Benavidez becoming the youngest super middleweight world champion. Lukovic expressed immense pride in the journey they shared, praising not only David but also his entire family for their dedication over the years. He highlighted Benavidez's discipline and willingness to move between weight classes as key factors behind his continued success and ability to reach historic milestones in the sport.
Samson, you saw this young man and you signed him. What did you see about him when you said, I want him to work with me?
Well, in this case, it was not really only me. He went to spar in St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, and I have the Jackson brothers, and he beat the shit out of him. So Tony from Virgin Islands said, listen, we need to take this kid. I say, look, I know you for so long, but I have trust on you. I used to do a lot in the Virgin Islands. So I spoke with Jose, and we come to an agreement, but I never saw him before. But in the first time, then I make my, I work my secret, how to get the best. And until now, I believe I didn't make a mistake because the first fight he was in Showtime. I say that we have a future champion in 168, and I promised to him that he'd be the youngest one. Now, in the beginning of his career, in the first fight, he told me, let's do it 175 pounds. You remember?
It was 180.
180.
I told you 100.
So he came, he called me up, he said, the lawyer, our friend David Garcia, he said, can we make the fight 185? I said, no, I just canceled the show. I just canceled the fight. You need to come and do whatever you agree with. He come less of that. And I believe that is the reason that he followed my lead for so many years, that he be almost 10 years together. And he went to 168. He said, no, 75, I can go to 60. I know that. And I'm so proud of him and the father and the whole family, because we accomplished so much in such short time that I'm so proud and hope that it will continue forever.
There's no doubt that David Benavidez is widely seen as the favorite heading into this fight. His resume, experience, and accomplishments naturally place him in that position. Many experts believe that his relentless style could be too much for Ramirez to handle. Former world champion Gabriel Rosado offered valuable insight based on his experience sparring both fighters. Having worked with Benavidez since he was just 15 years old, Rosado has witnessed his evolution firsthand. He described Benavidez as a high-pressure fighter who thrives on intensity and constant aggression, while Ramirez tends to focus more on technical adjustments and calculated movements. Rosado ultimately leaned in favor of Benavidez, pointing to his superior output and ability to walk opponents down. He also noted that Ramirez may not possess the kind of power needed to keep Benavidez at a distance. According to him, Ramirez would need a near-perfect performance, combining sharp boxing, discipline, and elite conditioning to have a realistic chance of winning.
I saw in an episode of Inside the Ring that you mentioned that you've sparred with like Bivol and Benavidez and Zurdo. Yeah. It was just announced that, you know, Benavidez and Zurdo are going to fight. Give me your insights on what it's like sparring those three, and what a fight might look like between Benavidez and Zurdo in your eyes.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean? It was all good work with all these guys, you know what I'm saying? And the most I've sparred with, so I only got one sparring session in with B-Ball, but Zurdo and Benavidez, like, you know, we spar number of times, man. I'm up to count how many times I've sparred those dudes, because I've been sparring Benavidez since he was like 15, when I used to do my training camps in Arizona, in Phoenix. So I would work with him, and then he eventually then would come to Wildcard, and then we'd work at Wildcard. And same with Zurdo. But, you know, the difference I would say is, you know, Zurdo is more, he's more on working on things, you know what I'm saying? And Benavidez is just more, you know, he goes aggressive, you know what I'm saying? And Zurdo does like 10 rounds of sparring. So,
okay.
I mean, I'm sorry, Benavidez.
Yeah, okay,
Benavidez does. So yeah, man, I think the intensity is just different between them sparring, man. But the thing is, like, since I've sparred with them for so long, we always had good rhythm working together. You know what I'm saying? It was very similar to each other. So, but yeah, man, it's really good, man. I think it's a tough fight. I think shit, man, you know, you gotta favor Benavidez just because of the volume.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The volume. And I think Zurdo's gonna have to be on his A game. Like, it's gonna have to be the best Zurdo in order for him to beat Benavidez. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna have to really box well, stick a jab out there, and be in tip-top shape.
British boxer Callum Smith also weighed in on the matchup, predicting a victory for Benavidez. He identified hand speed as a crucial advantage that could make the difference. While acknowledging that Ramirez appears physically larger at cruiserweight, Smith doesn't believe size alone will determine the outcome. He also suggested that Benavidez's decision to move up in weight indicates confidence, possibly stemming from their previous sparring sessions. However, Smith issued a cautionary note about the physical demands of moving between weight classes, referencing the career of Roy Jones Jr. as an example of how such transitions can impact a fighter over time.
Yeah, and before I do go, another fight I wanted to ask you about, champion at light heavyweight, moving up to cruiserweight, David Benavidez taking on Zurdo Ramirez. I guess what's your pick in that fight, definitely David moving up?
It's a good fight, really good fight. I just think speed with Benavidez probably maybe be the difference. I think he's got really fast hands. I don't think Ramirez is the fastest
Yeah.
I think the speed, and I don't think Ramirez, neither of them are genuine massive cruiserweights, so I don't think the size will be too much of a factor. Although we're seeing head-to-head, and Ramirez looks massive to be fair, considering he both come from 168. But yeah, I just think the speed of Benavidez will probably be. Plus they've sparred a lot as well, so I don't think if Benavidez fancied it too much, he doesn't have to go up to cruiserweight. So the fact that he's choosing to do it means he probably likes how the spars went.
Yeah. Do you think him coming back, like him talking about coming back down to light heavy, is a negative effect, I guess, of him?
It depends how he goes up in terms of how much natural weight he puts on, and to come right back, it will be tough. Like I feel like ruined Roy Jones coming back from
that's what everyone always uses.
But I don't know. I think it's weird because I think the fight he probably wants to meet to Bivol.
Yeah.
But then if I was Bivol, I'd want to fight him for his cruiserweight belt rather than this. So I don't know. Does he come back down? Again, we'll have to wait and see. I think he'll go with what he's shown throughout his career, which is I like him. He'll go wherever the big fights are. He was a 168. Canelo had all the belts tied up, so he moved to 175, and now he's moving to cruiserweight. So I think he'll go wherever the big.
Boxing legend Sean Porter described the fight as a must-watch clash, potentially turning into an offensive shootout. He highlighted the technical improvements in Ramirez's game, particularly his use of angles, pivots, and lateral movement. Despite taking some clean shots in recent performances, Ramirez showed resilience and strong ring intelligence by adjusting and continuing to work effectively. Porter also pointed out the physical similarities between the two fighters, noting that both possess the size and frame typically seen in higher weight classes. Because of this, he believes the matchup would be compelling regardless of whether it took place at 168 or 175 pounds. Another intriguing aspect is their shared history. Reports of intense sparring sessions between the two have added an extra layer of intrigue. While there is mutual respect between them, both fighters have made it clear that they are more than willing to settle things in the ring. Porter emphasized that this combination of aggressive styles and personal history makes the fight a high-stakes rivalry that deserves significant attention.
Changing in the styles, I saw Zurdo stepping around. I mean, his movement in this fight and his pivots.
Hell of a record,
in this
42-0.
Yeah,
43-0.
Crazy, 43-0. Yeah. But his pivots and the way that he was utilizing the angles after that fourth round, the fourth round was bananas. And after that fourth round, it's like he understood I got to step around and keep working and step around and keep working. I was like, I'm watching it. I was like, why are we talking about Benavidez versus Zurdo?
Talk about an offensive shootout would be those two. Did they really? I didn't know that.
They apparently had wars up in Big Bear.
I'm not
Abel
shocked by
Sanchez's
that.
summit. Oh no, I heard that they went to. They're really good friends too, apparently. But
okay, don't sound like it.
No. As good of friends as they are, they've went to war and they both agreed that they would be down to fight each other. So one of those friendships.
I would love to see that fight because now we're looking at a 168 we're looking at two 168 fighters who are practically the same size, same build.
Was this Zurdo's third fight at 175?
Third or fourth.
I think
this was
I thought it was his third.
Yeah, third fight. So I feel like he could come
third
back
or fourth,
right,
one of the two.
Be right there at 168 and make that fight happen.
So you think he goes down to 168 or Benavidez goes to 75?
Either or. I like either
75.
or.
I think it just makes sense to go to 75.
They're bigger than most 75 pounders when they move up.
Yeah,
they're both taller than Beterbiev.
Ramirez's trainer Malik Scott provided a bold and confident assessment of the matchup, even issuing a warning to Benavidez. While acknowledging Benavidez's talent and effectiveness, Scott firmly believes that Ramirez is currently the best cruiserweight in the world. He argued that many of Benavidez's recent opponents have allowed him to dictate the pace, rarely forcing him to adapt. Scott pointed out that Alexander Gvozdyk was one of the few fighters who truly challenged Benavidez and made him adjust. According to Scott, Ramirez possesses a much more versatile skill set and the ability to execute multiple strategies in the ring. His belief is that if Benavidez is forced out of his comfort zone and made to adapt, the advantage will shift toward Ramirez. This perspective sets up the possibility of a highly tactical battle where technique, adaptability, and ring intelligence could play decisive roles.
Somebody who you know, somebody you work with, Zurdo Ramirez. What do you make of that fight? How dangerous of a challenge is David Benavidez?
It's very dangerous, but Zurdo Ramirez is the best cruiserweight in the world, and this right here is going to be not only probably his toughest fight, but he's about to get defeated by Zurdo Ramirez.
What's the difference between the two of them? Why are you so confident Zurdo will handle the business of David Benavidez?
Well, Zurdo know how to do everything. To me, David Benavidez is an incredible pound for pound, a ring pound for pound, but he's very good at doing what he's doing. I don't see nobody like making him have to adjust. Alex Goljevic, I believe I'm saying his last name right. He's the only one that fought him very well to me. Everybody else seemed to fight him a little bit, you know, on his pace and let him do what he wants.
As Cinco de Mayo weekend approaches, David Benavidez is aiming to make history once again. While Gilberto Ramírez may not be considered his toughest opponent on paper, he still presents a serious challenge, especially given their past sparring experience. The big question now remains, can Ramírez pull off a stunning upset on May 2nd, or will Benavidez continue his dominance and secure another major victory in a new weight class? Fans around the world are eagerly waiting for the answer. Make sure to share your predictions and thoughts on this highly anticipated matchup. And if you enjoyed the breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more in-depth boxing content.